Okay, how you doing, folks? I'm resawing some heads today. What I'm doing is making knife scales for knife handles. This is Osage orange. It's one of the harder woods you'll ever find. And I'm just making some various sizes. It's still wet. What I have is a Alaskan sawmill that I use a steel chainsaw on, and I already got one flat side on all these pieces of log here. Now, I've seen some other videos on woodworking channels and stuff, and I'm not saying their way is incorrect. It's fine, it works great, but I think there's an easier way. I mean, I've seen guys make a cradle affair. They'll take a 1x and a piece like this, and they put a couple 45s in there to push the log through the bandsaw, because I'm resawing now on the bandsaw. What I do is I find my straightest edge on the piece, or in this case, over here. And I kind of pre-mark where I want to trim this off here. Okay, I got a mark here and a mark down here. Then all I do is I lay it on a piece. I got a 3-foot piece of 1x12 here. Clean it off so I can get it nice and flat on there. And I let my pencil mark hang over a 1/4 inch right here. And then I do the same thing kind of on the back side, as close as I can. And then all I do, this thin side, I'm going to be trimming quite a bit off here to get 1.5 inches. So I just take an all-purpose screw, and I look here to see where, I don't want it to go all the way through the board. You don't want anything sticking through. I'll pull the bark away here, and I just kind of go through, and I run one in, and I screw it to this board. Now, truthfully, you only got to screw it at one end. The bandsaw's pushing down on it, but I usually put 2 in. I'll come back here to the back side and put 1 in, because most of this is getting trimmed off anyway, like I said. And I just screw it down to a piece of wood. Now, and I might have told you wrong, this might be a 1x10 now that I think about it, but I believe it is. Yeah, my board's 9 1/4, so that makes that a 1x10. But I got a 1/4 hanging over. So I'm going to set my rip fence. I'm going to move my camera angle over here for you so you can see what I'm doing. I'll set my rip fence here. Got my Delta 14 bandsaw. I got a 3/2 per inch ripping blade in here, and it's all set up. It's tuned up. It'll cut veneer. I got a Craig fence. Bring my guide here over to 9 1/2. Lock it down. Put my safety glasses on, move this stuff out of the way, turn my saw on. Get it nice and square, make sure it's nice and straight. That's something I forgot to do. I forgot to set my blade height. So we follow the saw back down first. Take her up. I'm going to take it all the way up. And then come back down with my thickest spot. Probably gonna have to leave it all the way up here. See if we'll clear. I don't know. It's gonna be close. That's the only thing bad. You lose 3/4 inch of cut height. This is only a 6 inch. They make a 6 inch riser kit for it, but I don't have one. We'll see how. One thing I want to note that, as you can see, it's a good idea to have your board, for your guide board that you screw down to, longer than the pieces of wood that you intend to resaw. What this does, it gives you holding power so you don't have your hands up in here. You don't even have your hands anywhere near close to the blade. Even another foot back here wouldn't hurt. If a guy wanted to, you get fancy and put a handle on it if you want it. I don't care to. But right now for this piece, I now have 2 square edges, so I'm done with the board altogether. I can resaw on my bandsaw just by pulling the screws out. 2 screws, as quick as can be. It's not going to hurt a thing. I'm going to lose that edge of the wood where the screw is, and the same thing on this end. So it really doesn't matter. I didn't lose a thing. One thing, if you're sawing hedge on an old Rockwell 14 bandsaw like I have, this one's very similar to what the old school shops had them. This is the old 2-speed. It has the gear change in the back where you can drop the speeds way down on your blade, put a very fine tooth in it. You can actually cut metal on this saw as well. The one upgrade I have done to this saw for resawing is it originally had, I think, a 1/2 horse Delta motor on it when I bought it. I bought this saw used on offer up from a guy not too far away for $165, and I took the saw completely apart and rebuilt it. New cool blocks, got everything lined up the way it's supposed to be. As far as coplanar on the wheels, that doesn't matter in my opinion. But I did add a 2 horsepower motor to it, which really makes a huge difference when you're resawing, especially using a coarse 3/2 per inch blade like this. It's nice to have that extra horsepower. Now what I do is I just take, and I see I got 2 ends different size here. Well, I want to give it a width at least 1.5 inches. This end's not going to be a problem. This is. So I just measure over where I'm going to see where I'm going to have 1.5 inches. Put a pencil mark there. Come over here. 3.5 inches. Set my rip fence at 3.5 inches. Okay. Right there. Lock it down. Now I got an edge to run against. What I'll probably do here is move the fence over about, maybe another inch, and I think I'll have what I want here. So we'll go over to 2.5. No big deal if you make a mistake. Cut it twice and it's still too short, now then you got a problem. So I'll come back over here, flip it on. You know, something else I should point out too, that I'm not doing more regularly here. It's a very good idea to use push sticks. I've got enough area here to hold on to, but I bought an old Delta bandsaw or table saw years ago, and it came with a plastic push stick that looked like this. If any of you guys want it, I'd be happy to send you the pattern for it. You got a bandsaw in the first place, cut yourself out a 6, leave a couple on the bandsaw, leave them on the table saw, leave them wherever you might need them, the shaper, joiner, whatever. These are real handy. You know, you can use the nose to push. It's got the hook to push. It just works out great here. Look at my thinnest point here. What do I got? That's my thinnest point. You see there? See here. About the best I'm going to get out of that's going to be 1.5 inches. Oh, set her down. Set my fence. 1.5 inches. Give her another cut. This time I'm going to be smart and set my blade guide height, because I have a consistent height now that I'm working off too. It's one thing when you're cutting these odd shapes, you got to have your blade guide up high enough to clear the highest point. In other words, you're going to run into, it's going to bind on you. You're going to tend to pull it back. Sometimes if your bandsaw isn't truly set up right, you'll pull that blade right off the wheels. So you got to be careful. Basically, that's all there is to it. I now have a nice squared up block that I can cut down thin for veneer knife scales for knife handles. I make a lot of knives. And the nice thing about this cutting your own, you can book match the grains, so side to side, your grains book match works out real slick. I'll blow this off with a little compressed air over here. And when I get all done, I'll take the leaf blower and blow all the dust out of the open garage doors and blow the dust out. But as you can see, that's how I straight line rip with just nothing more than a block of wood, square wood bigger than the log I'm cutting. You can even cut 6 and 8 foot logs if you were careful and you ran roller outfeed tables on both sides of your bandsaw. And obviously if you're going to cut a 6 foot log, I would go with a 10 foot 1x. Nice and straight one, straight as you can find. That's it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it if you like this video to click like, and see you next time.